You're listening to Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast. Two friends since first grade, now dads reliving the Disney movies we grew up on with our own kids. I'm Eddie Ferguson.
And I'm JB Wagner, and on today's episode, we cover up the smell of our children as we review Hocus Pocus. But first, Eddie, that one definitely felt like you were talking to your son or daughter more than your wife when you said that, honey, we made a Disney podcast. But at the same time, Eddie, how's the family?
We are doing good. We're still in that blissful season of enjoying the new stuff from Christmas, right? You're still kind of getting used to it. I got a set of AirPods. That was kind of my big thing that I had asked for. That was all I got was AirPods. And which is big because my mom doesn't like doing one big gift and that's the only thing you get. She likes doing lots of little things. So I convinced her where I was just
Eddie.
like, listen, I'm going to, I'm changing jobs and I'm going to have a lot of phone calls and FaceTime calls and WhatsApp calls and stuff. And I was like, this would just be so good. This would just be really helpful. I convinced her to do this, right? So I've been playing with those. Lewis has been playing with all of his toys. And it made me think back to a fun... So my mom gets really into gift giving. Like this is big.
Just a little bit.
Like none other. She will begin wrapping gifts June, maybe July.
I believe it.
You walk into her house and there are gifts kind of, begun to be tucked away. And she loves putting together a good stocking. Now, some of you will literally just take your stocking and put some fun little toys and, trinkets in the stocking. No. My mom has to get everybody a giant brown bag. Your name is written on it, and a stocking is only the smaller gifts. Like it's no bigger than the size of your hand, but this is just packed full with all these different gifts. And she wraps them all. They're all in one corner with everybody's bags and name on it, and everything's wrapped. But they're just put in the bag, so there's no tags on it, right? The bigger gifts, they're wrapped, they get tags on and everything like this. Well, what she wasn't prepared for is that a 2-year-old visits her house frequently. And for months, said 2-year-old, who may or may not be akin to me, would go into this corner, and it was just like, just mixing all of the presents. And so as we're going through stockings, and they're not marked, right? They're all wrapped the same, just kind of in random bags. Somebody would open something and you're like, Mom?
Who's this supposed to be for?
Who's this supposed to be for? And we had this wonderful time of just
That's hilarious.
No, that was supposed to go to you. No, that's here. Oh, but I kind of wanted that. Oh, but no, you can't because that was given to this other person. It was
You basically had to start over. Like, I'll bring all the gifts back together and Okay, Mom, who's this one for? Okay.
And Mom just so many times was like, oh, Lewis.
Oh,
and
Lewis.
he was oblivious. He was having the time of his life.
No idea. That's
so
amazing.
We've been playing a lot. He got some trains. That he's really into trains right now. So we're, Daddy, we play trains. Daddy, we play trains. So we're doing a lot of train stuff. Lots of train stuff.
Let me just give you a piece of advice. Train tables are amazing when they're at other people's houses. They take up a lot of space at your own house. So just be warned. You will be tempted to go down that way. You may even choose to go that way, and that's fine for you. Just beware that the road comes with taking up a lot of space in whatever house you are in.
So we got him, or my aunt got him, I should say, a collapsible one.
Ooh.
That is, it's about the size of a briefcase. So it's like a briefcase that opens And
Okay.
that whole forms kind of a flat surface, and your trains can all go on that and everything. So that
That
way,
is smart.
we've got a lot of traveling we are doing this year as a family. So we're like, get the travel version of everything, everybody. Let's just
Yep.
make this. You know what is fantastic if you have a kid into trains? There are entire YouTube channels. Shout out to Coaster Fan 2105. These are an hour-long videos of just trains going by.
Ooh. Real trains or
real trains. One of our favorites is this guy recorded every train in California, right? California, beautiful state, just jaw-dropping scenery everywhere. Yep. And then trains, all these different types of, and that's it. There's no music. It's just stationary camera, train goes by, cut, different scene, train goes by, cut, different scene, train goes by. For an hour. And Lewis will stand there just trains. And he'll go, Daddy, that train faster. That train faster. Daddy, that train's slower. Like, he's very concerned about the speed of the trains.
That's funny.
So there you go. If you need a train thing that doesn't take up too much space, shout out to Coaster Fan 2105. We watch this channel all the time. That is a very
specific name.
Well, I remember it because I kept like searching for it again, because he doesn't add anything else to the videos. There's not ads in the middle, you know.
So it's the better way to watch videos than all of
you know how there's
ads.
Some YouTube creators where it's like there's just an ad every 10 minutes and you don't know what's going to pop up. So yeah, that's what
I appreciate that.
There you go.
Eddie, do we have some Disney news that we wanted to talk about? Not Soul this time. We can
not Soul
emotionally move on from that. We have rekindled our friendship since then, since the last episode.
My heart still hurts, but yes.
Okay.
Or shall I say, my soul is grieved.
I'm still looking for my soul. Still looking for some soul.
So as you are listening to this, I'm trying to remember when the 15th. Yeah. So as you're listening to this, we are 2 days away from the WandaVision series coming out on Disney Plus. If you haven't watched the trailers, you should. But JB, what's your take here? Are you excited? Are you a little skeptical? I'm assuming you've seen the trailer for it.
Yes, I've seen the trailers for it. It is not one of the topmost things that I would have said going into this year. Man, you know what I really want to see is a period piece retail or version of just Wanda and Vision story in this post Infinity War, post Endgame universe that we're in. I wouldn't have said that was like the top thing that I wanted to see. I would have said the Loki series, a lot higher on my radar. But honestly, with how the dirge of really good superhero, big cinematic content that we haven't had, we didn't have in 2020 because of the pandemic,
Nothing.
Had so little of it. The only things that we really had that was worth. Now I know that WandaVision isn't going to be going to theaters, but theater worthy stuff. We only had Wonder Woman 1984 and Tenet for an entire for most of a year.
Would you call Tenet superhero, or are you just saying worthy?
Just worthy to be like, I need to go see this in a theater. I need something of that caliber. Now I know that WandaVision isn't in that. But I would say that it's in the production looks like it's going to be inside of any one of these other Marvel pieces. So for that, I'm excited to have characters that I know in a big world. I know it's in a period piece, kind of. It's an odd set where there are
periods. They go
periods.
through multiple periods of time.
So, but it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be Marvel, and for that, I'm excited to see WandaVision.
Yeah, I would agree with you. If I were to rank the first 3 Marvel TV shows that are coming out, I'm most looking forward to Loki. Second would be Falcon and Winter Soldier, and third would be WandaVision. So I'm kind of glad they're being released 3-1. I think if we got Loki first, it'd be really hard to bounce back to WandaVision. The whole Wanda and Vision love story, even in the movies, was just kind of weird and odd to me.
I liked it. 2 lost souls finding each other.
Sure. I just, it felt, I wasn't a big fan of it. It felt forced at the end there of Infinity War. So are we going to try and lean in on all things we disagree with? No. But I think what made me excited is when I heard that a lot of this TV show was filmed in front of a live studio audience, that they purposely filmed it in kind of the old sitcom style.
Okay.
So that kind of, I think one of the things that I've appreciated the most about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I've heard Kevin Feige talk about this a lot, is how they intentionally tackle different genres with each character. And that, like, that's cool. That's really fun to see how they try and not just tell this particular character story, but also tell it through a genre of cinema. And so that kind of the trope heavy classic sitcom, I think it works for kind of the awkward WandaVision relationship thing. Yep. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it'll just kind of build momentum. We get WandaVision for most of January and February. Then mid-March is when we get Falcon and Winter Soldier. And then, we go into Loki at the mid-May, I think it is. So
we also get Black Widow in May, too.
Yeah, we get the movie Black Widow, which will be... I'm looking forward to that.
We've been waiting for it.
Yeah. I didn't know that was set. It's like set in between Civil War and Infinity War. I thought it was much earlier, but it's actually kind of the timeline is in the middle of all those.
Gotcha.
It's supposed to be what gives her the peace to do what she does in Endgame.
Gotcha. So yes, so I think we're all excited for more Marvel content coming to Disney Plus here in the next couple of days. But now it is time for us to fly away. I don't even know
on our broomsticks.
On our broomsticks to revisit a Halloween classic, Hocus Pocus.
Cue the Disney-ish sound effect.
Okay, I'm going to try and make my wife proud here on my IMDb description of this, because this is one of her favorite films. I think it's probably her favorite Halloween film. Curious youngster moves to Salem, where he struggles to fit in before awakening a trio of diabolical witches that were executed in the 17th century. Kind of got very literal at the end of that. Get very very much like we're reading a Wikipedia article on the Salem witch trials or something like that. Someone executed. Anyways, Eddie, this is, my wife pretty well. She loves Halloween. My wife, this is probably one of her favorite holidays. Loves decorating for it, maybe more than any of the other ones, although she would say that Easter is her favorite. But we go all out and around the house. Not too scary, but just like all the colors and a little bit of Day of the Dead. stuff in there as well, which I know you love as well.
Haunted Mansion is her favorite Disney ride.
Favorite Disney ride is Haunted Mansion. So this Disney film is when we first started dating, she let me know this was one of the staples of her life, which is watching Hocus Pocus, and we watch it every year around Halloween.
Yeah, we grew up watching this. This was kind of a go-to Halloween movie in our household. I know my sister and I loved it a ton. I gotta admit, though, I forgot that in my research going back, they actually didn't release this movie at Halloween.
When did they release this?
July 16th, 1993. Because they thought they wanted to take advantage of children being off from school for the summer. Guess what other famous non-Disney 1993 kid movie this was released the same day of?
What?
Free Willy.
Oh, that brings up some great memories. Some sleepovers.
Mm-hmm.
The sleepovers watching Free Willy.
Oh, Free Willy was a favorite of mine, but that's not what we're here to talk about. It's Hocus Pocus. And I think it's odd, right, to release it in the middle of July. But really what helped grow this movie is because it is now like cult classic level movie, is that it's played every year since like 95, 97 on ABC or ABC
Disney
Family,
Channel.
Disney Channel. Almost on repeat during kind of the Halloween season.
As it should be.
Yeah, and you think, VHSs in the mid-90s were still pretty expensive. Not everybody ran out and got, VHS. I explained this to somebody the other day. I only own 3 VHS still. You don't own any VHS? Oh, JB.
I moved on.
For another time.
Happily.
No,
the fact that I never have to rewind another movie again is reason enough.
So kids, there used to be these things called VHS. They were amazing because you could literally chuck them against the wall and they would still work. DVDs were awful. DVDs were the worst thing ever because if you barely got a hair on it, you couldn't watch the movie. It was so frustrating.
And now we don't have any.
And now we don't have to worry about it at all. Now all we have to worry about is if our internet goes out or buffering speeds or anything like that. Yep. So when they would re-release this or have those viewings on ABC or whatever, it was like a big deal because, it would be hard to get a copy of it. That wasn't as common. Especially this was back in the days when Disney would really control the release of movies through what they called the Disney Vault. So, I mean, it is just kind of over time built and become huge. So much so at Disney World at Halloween, there is a Hocus Pocus live stage show in front of the castle with the Sanderson sisters.
What?
You didn't know this? Yes.
I hope my wife knows, but I'm about to text her and tell her about this.
So not this year, of course, because stupid COVID canceled everything that's good in this world. But usually there's this thing at Disney World called the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And it's so popular. They do a stage show. And I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like the Sanderson sisters kind of do this variety show with a lot of the Disney villains. It's a lot of fun. It is so popular. This event is like a 4-hour hard ticketed event. They will do that show like 3 times in that 4-hour period because so many people want to get up close and watch it.
That's insane.
It's huge. Yeah. So, I mean, the Sanderson sisters, Hocus Pocus, it is like deep cut Disney. People love this movie and myself included. Like you guys, every year at Halloween, we go back, we have just a night we make a night of it, right? You get snacks, you sit down, and it becomes this big thing where you watch Hocus Pocus, you sing along to Don't Put a Spell on You, like all of that goodness. I Put a Spell on You, sorry.
Recently, I had to run back and remind myself to look up which came first for Sarah Jessica Parker, this role or Sex and the City. Because I was like, there's no way she would have done this after getting that part, the iconic role on that show. Because it's just so funny seeing her in this world as this flippy, like totally aloof person.
It's about 5 years before.
And then she goes full 180, has a PR makeover totally changes her personal brand for Sex and the City. I just find that really funny. But
the star of this is Bette Midler, who was huge prior to this. Like had a very successful film and stage career. Like to get her to kind of to be the anchor of this thing, that was a really big deal. Who directed this?
Oh yes.
The man,
favorite.
The myth, the legend.
Kenny Ortega. High School Musical. Who did Kenny Ortega.
High School Musical, did Newsies.
Yep.
Oh, so
would you classify this as a musical? Not really. This isn't really a musical, even though there is musical elements.
Right. Like, there's kind of there's two kind of key songs, I think, that come out of it.
Which is why Bette Midler probably was cast for this, was her.
Right.
And she
Put a Spell on You is big. It's a big moment.
And then she also, throughout the ever so often, will just like say something, but in a sing-songy way.
Yeah. It's very theatrical, it's very over the top, which sells it.
The whole film is very campy, very over the top. Exactly what
is it full campy, or does it kind of just
it's mainline campy.
Dance with the line? It does such a good job.
You can't say it's full camp because it still stays straight down the middle. Some of the bad special effects that are in it, the jokes, the talking cat, which this is the turning point, Eddie, for Disney to go from when we talked about Homeward Bound. We talked about that was the last film they probably will ever do where the animals themselves don't talk. Now we get the puppet talking cat ish thingy that was probably the forebearer for Sabrina the Teenage Witch's cat.
Yes.
For that show.
But there are so many times where it is Binks, it's just a bad puppet. It's just it's bad. Maybe not gorilla suit bad.
No, we haven't reached. That's definitely the 10 on the 1 to 10 scale.
Yes, but it is
one
still
being live animals, and 10 being the gorilla.
This is maybe a 5 or a 6.
It's bad, but it's passable.
1 being a live animal. Oh yes, this. But it's just fun. I think that's one of the things I love about this movie so much is that it doesn't take itself too seriously, which allows you to just enjoy it a little bit more. Like that's why it can kind of have this watch party kind of fun feel to it. It's not trying to say anything. It's not trying to do anything. It's just trying to be fun.
Yes. Eddie, speaking of actors in this film, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
Until I did research for this film, and I'm talking like before we started recording, the character of Allison, the love interest for Max, the California kid, I thought that was Hilary Swank, and it's not. It's someone named Vanessa Shaw, and I'm wrong. I'm so wrong. It was one of those things like, is that Hilary Swank? It kind of looks like Hilary Swank, but she's just not acting very well in this. No, it's not Hilary Swank at all, but it's her doppelganger. And I just wanted to confess that to you right now.
I'm trying to remember what a priest says at the end of confession. Go in peace, my child.
Be
I don't
with
know.
God. Go with God. Go with God. God, Crispy. As the
Do you know who almost played Max?
Who almost played Max?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Whoa! I didn't think. But what would have happened? That's another. What would have happened to this film?
But he turned it down so that he could go be in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which was
good job.
His breakout film. I think he got an Oscar nom.
Which then probably is the reason he got Titanic.
Sure. So isn't that crazy that you almost had Leo?
That was good
Max?
for him. It was almost nice that it gave Bette Midler more room to do her thing with the fact that it was all
her.
It was mostly her. Kathleen Najimy. I've seen her in a lot of other things, and Sarah Jessica Parker. But the fact that that was basically it just gave her room to just do her thing versus being upstaged by a good actor. not her, but like Leo coming into this cast, that would have overshadowed everybody. Yeah, everybody else in this cast. What were some favorite moments for you, Eddie? Thinking back to your childhood growing up with this film, what are the moments that you remember most?
I always like the dance scene. I Put a Spell on You. Yep. Like I just like
dance until you die.
Right. The three sisters together. Like when I flash back to kind of remember this,
moving together and singing.
Yeah, you just have the mental picture of the three of them together. With, of course, Bette Midler there in the center. I also always think back to the opening sequence where it kind of goes back in time and it gives you that. And then, of course, kind of that concluding scene in the cemetery where I don't want to spoil this for anybody, but,
Just spoil it.
The kids win, right? I think that you remember those things as kids, like a movie where the kids are the main protagonist and they vest the evil witches. There's just something fun like that. You
meddling kids.
Oh my. No, it's just such a fun movie.
So the spell book, I found this interesting looking back. It has a lot of precursors to the spell book, to the getting a lot of vibes from Harry Potter's the book that comes to attack Harry in his room that Hagrid gives them to the animal
magical
book,
creatures,
the magical creatures book that kind of like attacks him. A lot of vibes from that as I'm reading as I was watching this film about the eyeball that's right there.
Mm-hmm.
It was so infuriating. I know that it's part of the film. It's the only reason that the movie is the movie it is when they go to light that stupid candle. Just like, stop. Just don't light the candle. Come on, guys. Just seriously stop. And he does it every time. It's
and because not just because he lights a candle, but because he's a virgin who lights the candle.
The virgin.
Which was,
I don't know what that is.
Totally lost on me as a kid. Don't
you weren't putting two and two together there?
No, not at all.
For him, he's kind of an unlikable, cocky California kid, and I know that I didn't grow up there. But I lived there for a long time. Felt a little bit let down by my people in California by having to be represented by this kid.
Do you think it was an unfair representation?
Probably not. It's probably a good representation of the.
I
the
love
people
when
coming from
anytime it's the bad boy coming from out of town.
Come from
Nine
California.
times out of 10, he's from California.
He's
9 times
from
out of 10.
most likely from California, but
He's
it
California.
did make me a little sad.
Got the leather jacket, a little bit of a greaser,
in Los
skateboard.
Angeles. Yeah. So then he gets picked on. Then you feel bad for him because he loses his shoes. That was
Yeah.
And then his sister has to stand up for him when they're out trick or treating. And
Yes. Does your wife have a favorite scene or moment where she's like, "Shut up, listen"?
I don't know about shut up and listen. Asking her right now. So we'll see if she answered before we end this podcast.
And we can go back and you can edit it.
We can add this back in if we would like to. No, I mean the music things are funny. The special effects are all bad. It's just all bad, but that almost makes it more endearing.
Yes.
For it, we got the guy coming out of the ground that ends up helping, like some of those
like the
little
Frankenstein-esque thing.
Yeah. It is sad that the cat. I forget his. Is it Thackeray? Is that his real name or the
Thackeray Binks?
Thackeray Binks.
But they call him Binks.
It is a sad ending. It is a sad moment when he never gets to like truly save his sister who's always gone and then himself. It is kind of sad that he just moves on with his life.
Yeah, we're kind of maybe teasing the future here, but I wonder the sequel will cover any of that.
So yes, Eddie, we've been saying this a lot. This seems to be a recurring theme. Most of these old films that we are going back and doing, they are bringing back. We got Shrunk is coming back.
Mighty
Ducks. Now this.
Yeah, so this is coming to Disney Plus. This is going to be an original movie for Disney Plus, and it's going to be directed by Adam Shankman, who was a kind of a choreographer protege of Kenny Ortega, who did things like A Walk to Remember. That was his, I think, directorial debut.
Whoa.
He also did the 2007 movie Hairspray of the Broadway musical. I love Hairspray. Don't judge me.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, no, I think that'll be it. I wonder if they're going to
Bette Midler's coming back, right?
Yes, and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Ooh,
I think and Kathy Jimmy.
I'm interested to see if she goes full.
Yeah, all three.
Full original version of herself, or she tries to play it more like the star that she is now, or like how she's going to really handle it.
The money. They're just throwing the money at her, and of course she's going to do it.
So we have an alert. We have an update from my wife.
What's her
favorite?
I
said favorite scene. I said favorite scene, and she sent me two of them. She sent me the graveyard scene when they meet Billy. Comes out of the ground, and then when the sister flirts with the bus driver.
Yes.
Those are her favorites. I do love when they first go to the road for the first time, and they don't know if they can touch the black road or whatever. I think that is what for me like makes the sisters. Is their whole acclimation to the process of acclimation. Yeah.
Yeah. Like figuring out this new world. Like it's so like you got three amazing actresses. These are three top of their game comedic actresses, and they just sell that bit so well over and over. And I think falling in love with the bus driver is kind of quintessential of that.
The flying vacuum cleaners.
Yes.
Also, another really good one. Now I'm on here now. I'm just like down a
Just
whole
go
rabbit
through it.
hole of pop figures and lots of people dressing up as the characters, which I think is a big thing because you can just do that bright red hair and the shawls and carry a broom and you got it. It's like it's great. I think it's why it's become such a cult classic of just people being able to like identify right away. Oh, you are one of the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, you get a little bit of the neon look to the colors of the costume, crazy, wacky, zany hair. Yeah, that it's just
It's
it's
special.
so
It,
good.
it it warms the heart.
Yeah. Did you know that this was actually the second highest grossing film for October 2020?
Wait, what?
So have you so this was actually re-released in theaters,
Oh,
2,500 theaters to be exact here. This past October because
and
of COVID,
it was the
theaters
second
didn't.
highest box office.
Yeah, it was only second behind Tenet.
So funny.
It made like a couple $1 million.
Wow.
Isn't that funny that they
And a lot of this, and then a lot of that is just based off weekends because I know at least our theater here is closed Monday through Thursday, and then
Yeah.
it's only open Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Now I know that's not all theaters, but that's us where we're
Yeah.
at, and so that's actually a lot of money.
But it didn't come anywhere near us because I kept checking because I knew a lot of the
Oh,
theaters were re-releasing old movies and we were trying to get out to a few of them. If this would have been in a big screen, like in a theater around us, we would have gone. We would have made a big deal about all of this. Yeah.
so Eddie, 2020 new change,
One.
2020. So in 2021, bringing this back to theaters, any big changes that you foresee and making to this other than maybe Jessica Parker tries to play it a little straighter because she is a well-known actress.
I don't know. I think she will play it very similarly.
I feel like
But
Bette Midler can just do what she does best and basically reprise the same role and do it with the same vigor.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the sequel because I think that kind of tells it. I think they would try and make the movie have more of a message or more of a theme to it, which I wonder if that spoils some of the, dare I say, magic of the film.
I don't know. I don't know if they really need to go that route with some of these. I mean,
I don't think they should, but I think they will. I think they'll try and make it say something and not just be a pure fun crazy film. Just here's a story.
Okay. Well, we will see. We will see. Do you know when this is supposed to come out, or they just said it's on the docket sometime?
It's on the docket. I don't think that they have put a yeah, it was officially announced at the Investors Day thing back in last month.
Okay.
But they haven't said when.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you going to rate this movie, Eddie?
It's a hard one. I'm floating between like a 3.5, 4.
I also had it at 3.5 because you should not try to turn your brain on too hard for this film.
No.
Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the flight, the ride, whatever you want to call it. It's campy. It's got tons of weirdness to it, but it's lovable at the same time.
Lovable. What a great way
Lovable.
to define that. It's lovable.
It's a lovable film. Just don't over analyze the film.
Oh goodness. Any if the parents weren't entranced in a dance spell, how would this movie have gone differently?
I don't know. Maybe they don't win in the day because they wouldn't have believed them that there were witches.
Right.
So maybe this is good that they were entranced so that they could get them out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be my take on it.
I think for my dad tip, as we like to give these dad tips, this just further emphasizes why kids should not play with fire.
Unsupervised.
Don't let your kids light candles. They may unintentionally bring some witches back.
Witches back from the grave. Yes. Eddie, for the question for today, I came up with a question. I don't know if we had another pre-ready one. So my question is, which Sanderson sister is your favorite? Is it?
I was in my mind thinking that same question. Look at that.
Is it Winifred, the matriarch of the sisters? Is it Crazy Mary, or is it kind of off her rocker Sarah? No, did I write that down right? Is that Sarah? So Mary being the one who hits on the bus driver, and then Sarah also Sarah Jessica Parker.
Do we know your wife's favorite? I want to know.
Oh, we got to find this out.
If this is, her favorite.
Which is your favorite? This is awesome because she's in the other room, and I could just ask her, but she has forbidden me from putting her physically on the podcast. She hates being on the podcast. So.
And if you yelled, "Honey," you would wake up all.
Honey, we made a Disney. I mean, which is your favorite? So you can go to. I
would have to. Are you going to answer? Do you have a one?
I mean, it's hard to go away from Bette Midler, but I do love the small things that Mary did.
I was going to say the same thing.
Small little things.
Look at us. Our ESPN is back.
It's back. It was gone for last episode. It was a cold episode.
I love Mary's little sides. Like if you watch scenes with the three of them, the dialogue drives you to Winifred. But if you just look over and watch Mary, what the actress does with her character is so funny with that. Like there's just these little like things that she's randomly doing off the side that just endear me to her.
So my wife's favorite is, as she puts it, Winifred. Gotta love Bette Midler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the final word on it.
And no disrespect for Sarah and playing Sarah, but it just speaks. The three of them together as a unit is fantastic.
They work really well together. It's the trio of Sanderson sisters.
Yes. So hop out to our website. Let us know which sister is your favorite witch.
Yep. And you can do that at honeywemade.com/listener. And while you're there, go to our movies page to find out what all movies we're going to be doing in the future, which ones we've already done. You can listen back to those because this is actually, Eddie, this is number 18.
We are racking them up.
18 and 19, episode 19, another great classic Disney film. Not a deep cut, a classic film, Cool Runnings. It's going to be our next one, so you got to tune in next time. So please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Eddie, I got to go because I got to go dust up my vacuum because I'm going to take it out on the town tonight.
I got to go brush off my dance moves.
Nice. Thanks for listening.